Here, first things first, time now for Say What? Kawhi Leonard brought the Raptors their first ever title. So when the Claw wanted to thank the Toronto fans in his Clippers introductory presser, he did it the only way he knows how. Say what?
Before I get started on the Clippers, I want to thank the Toronto Raptor fans. I don't have social media, so I'm not able to put out a paragraph or whatever, but
he's funny, man. He did a great interview with Chris Haynes on Yahoo Sports that posted overnight. Everyone should read about his process, about not leading he said, I wouldn't want, when you just lead the Lakers on, he said, man, I wouldn't want that bad karma to come back on me. But it's very retro superstar in that, how am I going to thank the fans? I guess I'm going to have to wait till my press conference because I got no other way to do it. Doesn't have any social media profile. So I liked it. I thought he conducted himself really, really well yesterday.
Well, that's really him. It's not an act. He's not about a whole bunch of fanfare. And he is very excited, not only joining the Clippers, being in Southern California, but the team. He wasn't just excited about joining Toronto. He didn't even necessarily want to go to Toronto. And the first conversations didn't go like the ones yesterday. I can just personally tell you, even though he doesn't look like it,
right.
He's a dominant player just on a bad team.
You could buy a lot of breadsticks with all that money. To the NBA now, the Lakers are certainly happy Anthony Davis demanded a trade, forced his way to LA, but others around the league, not so much. Steve Kerr thinks AD forcing a deal to the Lakers is bad for the league, saying, quote, when you sign on that dotted line, you owe your effort and your play to that team, to that city, and to those fans. Nick, your thoughts?
Listen, I agree. You owe your effort. You owe your dedication. You owe all that. I'm yet to see a player say, trade me and I'm not showing up if you don't. That doesn't happen. These guys have guaranteed money.
Nick, who is this?
Who? Oh, is that Steve Kerr?
No, Draymond.
Oh, Draymond. Oh, you're right. How about that? Kerr, mind your own garden a bit. Draymond, while you're competing with Oklahoma City throughout your 73-win year, while Kevin Durant's under contract, hey, KD, you know that cap spike's coming. Sure love to have you. Throughout the year doing that. Yeah. And then at the end of the year,
in the playoffs,
crying from the parking lot, we need you, we need you. At least at that point, KD was about to be a free agent. But if we were to a place where NBA superstars were saying, trade me or I'm not showing up, then I would agree with Steve Kerr. But that is not what happens. What happens is teams decide when they hear a player wants to be traded and therefore is not going to re-sign, let's trade them as soon as possible to get the biggest possible return. You know what would have been the worst thing for New Orleans? If Anthony Davis had not said a mumbling word and a year from now left and they got nothing. No Lonzo, no Ingram, no 4th overall pick, none of that. So teams don't have to trade these guys. So I just disagree with Steve Kerr.
It's also, a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black. Steve Kerr calling out the NBA for something he doesn't like, and yet he created a super team which threw off parity in the NBA for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it was okay because the way he said it, though, because his contract was up, and then you're free, you can go anywhere. But the words he used was, this is not good for the NBA. Kevin Durant signing with the Warriors was not good for the NBA. So Steve Kerr, just be careful as far as what you say, because what you have seen in this era of player movement and player power, Paul George, he forced his way out of 2 places. He seemed to be okay. Anthony Davis forced his way out. He seemed to be okay. And he had to forget Kawhi, forget that happened, because that was a disaster that he seems to be okay. And the NBA is okay. You know what this is, Jenna? This is, everyone's got a boss for the most part. His bosses are the owners. The owners are not happy that the players are running the league. They tell Steve Kerr that. Steve Kerr gets a mic in front of him, then he says it. All right? He's conveying what the owners are thinking. Yeah, but it's okay when the owners do that. All right? If New Orleans wanted to keep Anthony Davis, they should have signed Boogie Cousins a couple years ago. Remember when they were a playoff team? Steve Kerr didn't mention that. And what about the 6 years of service Anthony Davis gave him? How many years of your life are you supposed to give a team?
And one other element. He talks about it's not good for the league for these guys to be healthy scratches. I actually agree with that. Anthony Davis didn't ask to be a healthy scratch. That was New Orleans once they knew they were trading him, protecting the asset.
For themselves.
These are all decisions made by organizations. I would think an organization would want as much information as possible. Like Milwaukee, in a year, when they can offer Giannis $250 million, if he says yes, great. If he says no, they should then ask him, is your plan to leave? And if he says yes, then they at least have the information.
That's business.
Do we go for a title this year and try to convince him to stay, or do we flip him for a haul? Anthony Davis let them know, I'm not staying. But he never once said, and if you don't trade me, I'm going to sit out. You don't have holdouts in the NBA. Contracts are guaranteed. So I love Steve Kerr, but I just disagree with the sentiment of this.
All right, let's take a break, talk some football on the other side. Can Cam Newton win another MVP this year? That's next on First Things First.
Jenna, call your doctor.
No.
That's what the alarm was.
Call
your doctor.
Talk about making an entrance. The Jaguars have made it clear they're not going to pay Jalen Ramsey this offseason. The All-Pro corner had a response to that, arriving to training camp yesterday in an armored truck. See your thoughts on this?
Jalen's trying to build his brand. And let me tell you something. Tom Coughlin, who was making all the football decisions in Jacksonville, to me, Jalen Ramsey doesn't have the type of personality or the type of money Jalen wants. Jalen going to want about 17, 18 million, right? Top corners getting 15 million. Bayard got, as a safety, got 14, 15 million yesterday. Oh, Jalen's going to get paid. When they didn't offer that extension, they opened themselves up for that. Jalen's going to bounce back with a great year.
I thought this fell flat a little bit, and I like Jalen a lot. But if the goal was to incentivize Tom Coughlin to trade you, it was brilliant, because I know the old drill sergeant don't like that. Hey, listen, Jaguars, you're not going to compete this year. You're rebuilding. Kansas City Chiefs trying to win championship. Make a little trade, couple first-round picks.
I don't know if you noticed, though, that 6'4" cornerback getting out of there looking like Mel Blanc of the Pittsburgh Steelers.